Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle. Matter of fact, we're going to be doing two of these throughout the next day. It is Takeover and Money in the Bank weekend coming up very soon here, so you know exactly what that means. It is now time to go ahead and do predictions for both of them. We're going to do them in separate videos at this point in time, just to give a little bit of clarification on why I've been a little bit radio silent recently. I've had some throat issues, and I've had some have not been feeling well all this week. So there were some certain things I wanted to get done that I won't be able to get done. One being the simulations. I'm not going to be able to do those this time around. I wanted to do them, but I will not be able to get around to them. I'm still not feeling great, but I'm feeling better and I'm up to this. So I want to go ahead and at least get predictions done for both NXT Takeover, Chicago, and then, of course, for Money in the Bank, which we will be doing in the next video right afterwards. So let's rocket right into this with the first match, which is going to be the Velveteen Dream going up against Ricochet. This one's got potential. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I'm going to be clearing my throat on these ones. These next couple of videos. But yeah, we've got Velveteen Dream and Ricochet. This has potential of being a really, really good match. Based off of everything we've seen, storyline-wise and everything. Basically, both of them just kind of wanting to one-up each other at all times. Throughout the entire day, or throughout their entire segment of the story. That, like, the whole bit where, like, Velveteen Dream was trying to say is like, I can do anything you can do, only better. And then Ricochet does a flip to the outside of the ring and lands right on his feet. Amazing spot, crazy to look at, crazy athleticism. So I would imagine these two are going to go out there and try to have as much of a knockdown, drag out match as they possibly can. And I'll be honest with you on this one. I think it's time for Velveteen Dream to finally get a bigger match victory. He's had one takeover victory. It was over Cassius Ohno at that time. He's been on a few other takeovers, but has not come out on top yet on those other ones. So I feel like it is now time for him to come out on top, and I'm going with Velveteen Dream on this one. Up next, we've got the Undisputed Era going up against Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, and you know what? I expect this to be a good match. Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan are very good inside of the ring. I just don't feel like they're going to give those tag team titles away from the Undisputed Era at this time, so I will be going with the Undisputed Era, though I would imagine we would see something with Pete Dunne and Adam Cole in this one as well. I expect to see a little bit more of the interference style running in this particular match, and I expect to see something done with Pete Dunne and Adam Cole, baby. So this leads us into the NXT Women's Title match, which is going to be Nikki Cross going up against Shayna Baszler. I don't see them putting that title on Nikki Cross. I don't. It feels like they've been holding off Sanity for Nikki Cross to come up. Because remember, Sanity was announced for main roster a long time ago, but we've, like, radio silence. We haven't seen anything outside of a couple of vignettes, and we haven't seen them show up on TV yet, and we haven't even seen vignettes in quite a bit of time as well. So I feel like they're going to be saving Sanity for Nikki Cross to come up. So I imagine they're only having this match for the aspects of having this match and having a bigger high-profile match on the NXT Takeover shows itself. So I am going to go with Shayna Baszler keeping the NXT Women's title. Her reign doesn't need to end so quickly. So I don't imagine it will. So this leads us to the street fight, which was pretty much the same match we had at NXT Takeover New Orleans, which was Johnny Gargano going up against Tommaso Ciampa. You know, I expect a really good match from these two. I don't know if it's going to be the same caliber they had at Takeover New Orleans in the terms of their storytelling and everything. I honestly feel like their storytelling going into this one has been a little lackluster. to a certain degree, or it feels like it's just kind of hitting the same mark each time. Just like we're only hitting this one mark. They're not trying to hit a new thing with it. But I imagine them doing something big in this match. I just don't know what it is yet. There's a lot of different little teases in there, such as something with EC3. I would imagine there might be something with Candice LeRae in there. There's a lot of different things that could go on in this match. It could be an interesting one. I don't know if it'll be as good as their last one, which was also basically a street fight, but we'll see how everything plays off in the end. So in this case, I don't see this feud ending with this particular match. Therefore, I'm going, since Johnny Gargano won the first one, I'm going Tommaso Ciampa this time around. He wins number 2, which will lead to a third at a different time, depending on what type of match they want to do with that at that point in time. This one will also more than likely main event like it did at Takeover New Orleans, but I wouldn't be shocked if they also put this second to last as well. So this leads us to the last match, which is the NXT title match. It's going to be Aleister Black going up against Lars Sullivan. Now, this is the reason why I do feel like Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano is going to finish the show, because I feel like that's the bigger match than this one. Which is kind of the sad thing to say, that, you know, your NXT title match isn't the biggest match on the show, but the build up to this, it's been pretty decent. It's been pretty decent. It's been pretty much, you know, Aleister Black getting stopped at every corner by Lars Sullivan. Everything that Aleister Black tries to do to take down Lars Sullivan fails, and he ends up getting destroyed in the end. And that's what has been the main story build up throughout this entire time, including the last bit that they did on NXT TV this week, where Lars Sullivan took out Aleister Black in the end, and left him lying with him holding the title on the announce table afterwards. So that's kind of been their story. Lars Sullivan just takes out Aleister Black at every turn. So I feel like it's that time for Aleister Black to finally be able to figure out Lars Sullivan, figure out everything about him in this point, and he'll end out taking the match and taking the victory and keeping the NXT title at this time. So I am going to go with Aleister Black on this one. So that is the 5 matches that they have announced. I imagine they have a couple more matches for a pre-show or for what they're going to take for next week going down at the show itself. Because they usually don't do pre-show matches on their side of everything. But those are my predictions for NXT TakeOver Chicago. I think this is the second NXT TakeOver Chicago, and I hope you guys enjoyed everything, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone.